we could really say that it's mixed. I mean, some have come to say that if these agencies were successfully merged or abolished, it will result in cost savings and it will improve efficiency. Other reforms faced opposition and probably were not just fully, looked into. But then there has been calls by, different the different sectors or the different parts of the country about some levels of restructuring, and some have said that the ongoing process with the National Assembly into looking at the Nigerian Constitution, saying that it will take 24 months to amend the Constitution, as well as the calls from different sectors saying that, hey, it's time for us to have some sort of restructuring, for the country as the only way out to end some of these, agitations, to end some of these pleas by the different parts of the country who feel as though they have been, shortchanged in the institution or of a country called Nigeria. And does it mean that if we are able to look into the Orasanye Report, wholeheartedly, word for word, could this really bring about the change that we want to see? Could it bring about the reforms that Nigerians want to see? Would it be able to reduce the level of hardship so that we wouldn't have out of school children, we wouldn't have the NLC going on a strike, we wouldn't have the state of insecurity in the country becoming so much alarming that there are some thoughts that the security agencies that are available may not have the manpower to indeed combat these crimes, so that we wouldn't have some top secrets when information is supposed to be put out there for each and every one of us to have access to, so that we are a part of government, and so that we would be able to restore ourselves to the path of our lost glory, right? But then the document is looking at scrapping and merging of 220 out of the existing 541 government agencies, and it is also looking at managing audits of 89 agencies, capturing biometric features, as well as the discontinuation of government funding for professional bodies and council. Now, it is also bringing to the fore the fact that the merging of Infrastructure Concession and Regulatory Commission, that is the ICRC, with the Bureau of Public Enterprise, that is the BPE, that's talking about NEMA, and National Commission for Refugees, that's talking about the NCF, to be called the National Emergency Refugee Management Commission. That would be the NERMC. So all the Nigerians in diaspora, that's talking about NIDCOM, right? Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, that's NIDCOM, would become an agency under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I mean, it only makes some level of sense. Now, it's going to see a merger or merging of the Nigerian Television Authority, that's the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, the FRCN, the Voice of Nigeria, the VON, under one management called the Federal Broadcasting Corporation of Nigeria, that is the FBCN. And there has also been included the Public Complaints Commission, National HIV and AIDS, and National Intelligence Committee, and so on and so forth. Now, in addition, 14 agencies are to be fused into ministries where they were created from, while the Debt Management Office, that's the DMO, is to return to the Federal Ministry of Finance, and Public Health Department is expected to go back to the Federal Ministry of Health. Right now, the Federal Road Safety, this one of course is something that has got mouths talking. The Federal Road Safety Commission, the FRC, will become a department in the Nigeria Police Force. Also, the Universal Basic Education Commission, Nomadic Education Commission, and National Mass Literacy Commission, the report said, are performing overlapping functions, and that these functions, they should be brought together under one body. Right now, I don't know what you think about that. Putting all of these commissions into one, is that really going to strengthen, the state of affairs in that regard when it has to do with matters of concern, education and literacy? But then, if the 800-page document, is also implemented in its original form, at least 102 heads of agencies and parastatals are expected to lose their jobs. Now, at the time, Orasanye had said that if the committee's recommendation was implemented, the government would save over 800 billion naira between 2012 and 2015. This is the report as it was, in its original form. And while 124.8 billion naira would be reduced from agencies proposed for abolition at the time, and about 100.66 million naira from universities, then 50.9 billion naira from polytechnics, 32.3 billion naira from colleges of education, and 616 million from boards of federal medical centers. Right, so these are some of the highlights of the American Financial Crimes Commission that's talking about the EFCC, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offenses Commission, that is the ICPC, are expected to merge, if the report is implemented in its original form. Right now, that is what it is, but there has been some talk about this the whole Orasanye report, if the federal government should adopt it. The federal government has also come out to saying that there will be no law, the long-awaited process the Nigerians have been looking forward to. President Bola Tinubu has ordered the implementation structure, the Federal Agencies Commission, and this has been greeted with some mixed reactions. I mean, there are some who have come with the place of what impact is this going to have, for the Nigerian, society? What impact? How is it going to help? Would it bring about cost of savings? Would it cut it down? Would it bring about improved efficiency? And would it indeed bring about the sustenance of democracy? Right? Would it have the ability to stand the test of time? And do you think that the main challenges, reports, what exactly do you think could be the main challenges that hinders it? And do you also envision, the future of Nigeria's public sector, especially in the light of the reforms proposed in the Orasanye, report? And there are also some, issues that concerned whether, citizens, if you believe that citizens and civil society organizations, should play a role in advocating for the implementation of these reforms, like those, that's been recommended in that Orasanye report right there. Now, there are also critical highlights, with this report, critical issues that, point towards public sector, but its full implementation has also been, hindered by some various challenges. One of those key obstacles, is the resistance from vested interest within affected agencies. Some people have been so bureaucratic to the point that they fear that they might lose their jobs, or there might just be a reduction in influence if their agencies are merged or abolished. And now this resistance can also, manifest in several ways, as bureaucratic inertia or even active opposition to reform efforts. But another challenge might also want to be, the issue of the bureaucratic hurdles that is inherent in many large-scale, restructuring processes. Now, implementing some of these recommendations of the Orasanye report might require some coordination among multiple government agencies and departments and ministries. And this can be slow and somewhat cumbersome, right? So additionally, there may also be legal or logistic barriers to overcoming and further complicating the process. And as much as we are also talking about these, we should also understand that there may be political considerations, that might play very significant roles in the implementation of the Orasanye Report. Some government officials may be somewhat hesitant, right, to pursue reforms that could undermine their power or somewhat because it's very crucial for driving the reforms for these agencies, and it can also be influenced by the electoral process and cycles, competing priorities, and even other factors. Well, there are also talks that the lack of sustained commitment to reform efforts might pose a challenge to the Orasanye Report's impact. Then there are also, initial enthusiasm for, this change. There is the need to maintain some levels of dedication. So without this ongoing support that we have seen from past administration, and successive administrations, reforms can actually languish or be reversed. It's undermining the effectiveness of what that reform might be. If you also look ahead at the future of Nigeria's public sector, you would understand that it might depend on the government's ability to address these challenges and sustain, some levels of reform efforts. Now, citizens and civil society organizations, probably have a vital role to play, in holding the government accountable and advocating for, transparency and mobilizing support for reform initiatives. There can also be, the need to ensure that the Orasanye Report's recommendations translate into some tangible improvement in the lives of ordinary Nigerians. So there is so much about the Orasanye Report, and the government on the one side is saying that even though these mergers would be happening, that the civil service or the civil servants, that you and I, should not have any fear, country. But there has also been some thoughts that have said, well, the president at this time coming out to saying that we should have an implementation of, the Orasanye Report, having benefited profusely from new cars, even not just for the president, for politicians themselves, getting into office and changing cars here and there, saying that it would aid their jobs and all of that. After all of that, you now come over to saying that we are now implementing, cutting the cost of governance and all of that. These are some of the thoughts that something after you have benefited from an ill process, what does that make? Would you really find the support that is needed to bring this report, into shape? Well, then the conversation is still trending, and I'd like to know, from you, what you think about this, reform, this report. Do you think that it is, a step in the right direction? Do you also think that we can benefit as Nigerians, that it's not going to be hijacked? The process would not be hijacked, by the house at the corridors of power. And do you also think that, that the Nigerian populace, that the Orasanye Report in itself would be some sort of answer, to some of the issues that we face in the country today, in terms of unemployment, in terms of job creation, in terms of the insecurity, in terms of the hunger, in terms of the prices of commodities that's soaring every day, and it's nonstop. I was watching across social media, and I saw where a woman was lamenting groundnut oil that used to be for, is it 10,000 before, 20,000, is now 40,000 naira in somewhere in Lagos. And then while she said that, something she said that really got to me. She says, in this country, even if the reforms or even if anything has been done to cushion the effect of the hardship, to make available food security for the people, that whatever goes up in price, most of the time, even when the situation is assuaged, might never go down, in price in the country. Campaign and let me know what you think about the 0907 353 0044 is that number to call. The other number is 0908 766 809 705 4450. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good evening, my brother.
Yes, good morning to you.
Thank you.
What is your name?
Alami from Central Area.
Sorry? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. What's your name?
So, and take those very tough decisions to bring about reforms to our dear country, Nigeria. You asked the question that what could be the reason administration has abandoned that report for over 14 years.
Yeah.
The answer is simple. Because of the political consequences it carried. The previous president placed priority on their political survival, contesting of their second term of their anointed candidate who will replace them. Because implementing all of this policy makes you unpopular. It comes with political consequences. Now, they are redundant. They are nothing but mere political compensation. Okay, this person support me to win this polling unit. Okay, I want to become the president. I appoint you as the DG of this agency and the executive secretary of this agency. Nothing but mere political compensation. Now imagine if that back in 2012, implementing that report will save Nigeria over 800 billion.
That's right.
If you are not to do, a calculation, a reevaluation, that amount by now should have tripled.
Okay.
So the president has shown once again that he's not a threat, he's not coming to play politics. He wants to come in and fix it. I think when you talk about the legal consequences, I don't know anything good about it. I think the nature of responsibility and the implementation aspect for National Assembly to come up with the amendment of the various acts or bills that establish these agencies. It is not the full responsibility of the National Assembly to amend all of those establishment acts of each of these concerned agencies for school implementation. The one they want to scrap it. The one you want to subdue each or another, you go ahead and subdue it. In conclusion, President Bola Tinubu has proven once again that he's not interested about politics. These are limited, policies that when implemented, the results are on track. I would like to see the immediate impact. In a matter of 2-3 years, it's better for it.
All right, thank you so much, though. Appreciate. Keep the calls coming through, and let's take this one. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Yes, please. Good morning.
John or Dr. Dan.
All right, welcome aboard. What's your name, please?
I'm Moses.
Moses?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, thank you. God bless you.
All right.
I think some of these agencies, to me, I see that it's a political positions. How to compensate. Some of them are compensating someone who has made them to be in that position of leadership. And another thing again, I look at it is that whether they like it or not, the current situation in the system, they cannot measure up to maintain some of these agencies. So in a diplomatic way and in a political way, the way they have seen it is to do what is to amend, and some that we need to let go should let go. Because the current situation is biting hard. The government can no more finance some of these agencies. And that is one of the factors that is leading to these very issues.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not able to be implemented in the past regime, but the issue is, you know that some of the political appointments is according to one, man no man. Two, you help me succeed to be in the throne. That is what is happening in this country. Yeah.
But isn't that what the implementation should be about? To cut off some of these illegal processes.
Yeah. What the government like it or not, they cannot finance some of these agencies. The only policies that they can implement was to go on this, and not only this. There is an issue you raised. the court of governance, and personal sacrifice. If really, it should even start from the House of Assembly. Is that also some of their high demand should be cut off by now? Am I communicating?
Right.
Because we are talking about sacrifice. So if we are talking about sacrifice, the leader should be the number one to show out the evidence of sacrifice. Then the final advice I will give is that this country, we need to work hand in hand, because the situation on the ground now, whether you like it or not, everybody is feeling the heat. Is that not so? So the government should look onto inward areas that will help especially the ordinary Nigerians, because some of these the people over there, they are not feeling it. They have access to food, they have access to transport. Look at, I was hearing in the national news this morning that in all Africa, that Nigerians are the people that have the highest private jet. When I heard that news this morning, I was shocked. Nigerian private jet, and most of these jets are owned by politicians. So when you are talking about cut out of expenses, so there are some areas that they should start from. So if in Africa research carried out that Nigerians politicians are the one that have the highest jet in most of our airports today,
right?
They can fly out, they can go to where they want to go. So they cut down costs of our economy should start from there.
Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate. Well, it says that we should start, if you talk about matters of concern, cutting down the cost of governance, we should start from the top. That the same persons who are, looking into this, the president should ensure that these, offices, the offices of the governor, the offices of the minister, the National Assembly members, it should all begin from there. But then the federal government has also come out to saying, as some quarters of the country have cried foul, saying that this might just be another way to plunge the country into the darkness of unemployment, where they fear that this might allow for quite a number of persons, to lose their means of earning a living. And however, but the federal government has come out to saying that is refuting it as false, saying that it's just a merger. And the merger does not mean that jobs will be taken off, or, the homes of, working Nigerians right there. But let's take this one. Hello. Good morning.
Hello, Mr. Ukwa.
Yes.
Daniel.
Good morning to you. Mr. And what's your name? Where are you calling from?
This boss Mayor calling from you.
All right, Mayor. Welcome aboard. Mayor, let's have your thoughts.
In this kind of access, what I discovered is that I was listening to the conversation on maybe WhatsApp or something like that. Somebody was saying that maybe government is going to be monitor all the talks that maybe Nigeria have been talking. Everybody that maybe you should maximize your talks, even though in everywhere. If somebody is not, I do respect this morning. It's not Tinubu that maybe is behind all this one, because it's we together. See, I want to advise people, because maybe you are here now, because your soup you normally get you normally get red for on top of your soup now. Let other people too, let them benefit in those kind of things. Let us tell ourselves truth that people are saying that they are suffering, and look to this thing. That's a purpose for you to be there. Let us tell our truth.
All right, are you there, Boss Mayor? Okay, the line is a bit faulty at the moment. Can't hear you. Might have to call back. But then you are saying that there is a place of sincerity, that we should be sincere and tell ourselves the truth, and that really goes a long way. I mean, it's all about honesty, transparency, and also being able, to be accountable, to the people. It is also very important to let you know that some of the agencies, based on the considerations that and commissions and parastatals that might be affected. Now, agencies to be scrapped: pensions, Transitional Arrangement Directorate to be scrapped and functions transferred, to the Federal Ministry of Finance. National Senior Secondary Education Commission, NSSEC, to be scrapped and functions transferred to the Department of Basic and Secondary Education in the Federal Ministry of Education. And then agencies that should be merged, goals, National Agency for the Control of AIDS, that's NACA, to be merged with or merged under the Center for Disease Control in the Federal Ministry of Health. Then National Emergency Management Agency, that is NEMA, to be merged with National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons. And Directorate of Technical Cooperation in Africa, that is the DTCA, to be merged with Directorate of Technical Aid, that is the DTAC, and to function as a department in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And in terms of Infrastructure, Concession and Regulatory Commission, that is the ICRC, is to be merged with the Bureau for Public Enterprise, that is the BPE. And then National Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, that is the NIPC, is to be merged with Nigerian Export Promotion Council, NEPC. National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, NACINI, to be merged with National Center for Agriculture Mechanization, NCAM, and Project Development Institute, PRODA, right? And you would also look at some of the other, there are other agencies like the National Commission for Museums and Monuments to be merged with the National Gallery of Art, while the National Theatre to be merged with the National Troupe of Nigeria. 0907-353-0044 is that number to call. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, my brother in the studio.
Good morning to you.
How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Inacho is good and well, but not available.
Well, you don't let me collect your voice, no problem. God bless you.
Right. This is
my name is David from Otako. I greet our call, I greet you, so you are doing well. You be like Inacho.
Oh, thank you.
Father like a son. I don't know whether I will need that for now today. Whether the president go listen, waiting, bless you, what to talk. Reduce the cost of governor quite good. What of people wey they never still pay their salary, and now reduce the cost of governor quite good. If na cost of governor they want to reduce, e good, we support her, because their money wey they pay them too much. For our own, we know they work for government, or then they okay. For our own, we know they work for government. So people wey they know they work for government, we say we go beg our president today, may he bring the price of fuel come down. Because anything we want to buy for market now, we go enter motor. Even the payment wey they pay workers, they reach them 30,000 minimum wage. Some never able still exceed their own. And the salary, they do anything. They buy anything for them for market. And the effect, they talk the governor, they talk the president. But we say, we they work for government. Now our president listen for us. May it be the price of fuel come down. Everything go dey okay. Even though you give or you reduce the price of anything, but the fuel bigger order and let farmer partaker for the government where we dey. My brother, without anything, sheriff do no beer. Reduce the price of the governor, whether na price or whether na reduce the this, you no go anywhere. Okay. May he bring the fuel come down for us. May our president listen for the crown of people. If he bring the fuel come down, forget all this thing, the minor things. May we increase the people's salary. People when they pay 30 million more, they never still a fee. May he bring the fuel come down. If you might say, president, they listen, he say he see our pay. But the pay, not anyone when don't touch for our life. I know say he try. I know they not go listen for us. The cabal when they get close to us, they don't want me listen for us. Please, I'm begging him. May he listen for us.
All right,
God bless you.
Thank you so much, Nigeria. Awesome. All right, BB Blessing. The thing is, I want to believe that the president, I'm not speaking for the president though, but I mean, it will only be sensible, for a sitting president to listen to the cries of his people, of the people he, presides in leadership over, right? It will be very insensitive, for the president to not listen. But then just like you said, this probably might be the issue regarding the Orasanye report, looking to put together or pull together some of these agencies that have replicated functions so that they get to perform, in full throttle as one or under, some levels of supervision, such that their powers, are being checked, and their day-to-day administration is also looked into, so that there will be no bottlenecks. But the fear has always also been that how the implementation is going to be, and whether or not these bottlenecks and bureaucratic personnel with personal interest would not get in the way of making mockery or making meaningless that process. But then there are some people who have also said that the need for the president to get back the subsidy and everything, but some quarters will say, what if there might be fears should the president do that? I mean, he made that pronouncement, right? And going back on his words might just not be the way out and all of that. But he knows what to do. It is right before his purview to look at all of these concerns and do the needful. Hopefully, this report should be a one in all compact report that should look into some of these issues and bring some sort of change and bring to a standstill the bottlenecks and the hardship that we face currently in the country. Let's hear it from you. Hello.
Yes, Daniel.
Yes, morning. Please. Good morning to you. What's your name?
Thank you. It's Obasanjo.
Obasanjo. All right, Obasanjo. Let's hear you.
Thank you. You can see your government cutting down you are cutting the cost of government. Why? How many ministries do you have? The ministers, you have 40 ministers, and you are saying you are cutting cost of government. How many senators do we have? 109. How many House of Representatives? 360. How many SUV you want to buy to the ministers? How many SUV you want to buy to the senators? How many the cars that you buy for House of Representatives? That you are saying you are putting the cost of the government, sir. I am telling you, Tinubu is our big problem of this country.
No, Obasanjo, you don't say that to an elected, president, please. You should be mindful of your language, please. Okay? You don't say that. That's not right, please. Okay?
Okay, where is the problem?
Speak truth to governance. Don't use such language.
What is that? If you know the policies, sir, that is why you are there. You can hear a lot of them. That is why you were there. I was not there. All those things are political brouhaha of taking your money in other countries. You hear us? Daniel, let's tell each other the truth. And you are saying you're cutting cost of the governors. What about the minister? How many cars do you want to buy? How many billions of naira have you been set aside for them? For your political will in 2027, Abi?
Well, Obasanjo, right? Okay. Thank you so much.
Is that okay?
Yeah, please.
Is that okay?
Thank you. All right, though. Please, as much as I understand that emotions may run high and sentiments deep, but please, having such statements against a sitting president who was duly elected would not be tolerated. That's very wrong. All right, the number to call is 0908-766-8888. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, that's a miss. Okay, so let's also let you in on the fact that you can send a WhatsApp message to the WhatsApp portal number, and that is 0909-705-4450. And you can also call 0908-766-8888. 8. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Command.
Good morning to you.
This is John from Suleja.
All right, John, welcome aboard. Let's have your thoughts.
Yeah, you are shutting up up and down. Anyway, but you want to follow the rules of the game, anyway. I don't blame you anyway. But let us put it this way.
Yeah.
If you don't like that language, let me use another one, misplaced priority. You like that one?
If that's better, please.
So, you see, the man, our president took over government. You know, can you calculate as a journalist the number of money he had borrowed and shared to National Assembly, the number of money he had borrowed to bring in all the name of palliative? And again, you come back and then you imagine all this one. You see, some of the things he's doing, all the public needed is how to bring down the cost of living in this country. That is our main focus now.
Right.
Any other thing he's doing in this country, the society is not taking it. It is not sinking down to us. Because as far as I'm concerned, there is hardship in the land. So whatever you are doing now is like pouring water on top of the stone. And the people are just angry and that you are just running from pillar to post and you don't need it. They don't just need it. So what you need is the direct his steps. If you just admit and swallow the humble pie that I made a mistake by him, that the pronouncement of subsidy is gone. There's no country in the world, you are a journalist investigating, that don't give a subsidy in so many things, even in the food subsidy, electric subsidy, what have you, petroleum subsidy. So our own will not be different. Because this country, the way it's running is like a oligarchy government, the government of the few, by the few and for the few. You just give it to the rich and they are getting richer. That is my take on this. I'm not bothered about imagine all these agencies and all that. But even the one I'm even worried about is imagine police with low safety. They will be counterproductive.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, though, John, for that one. Appreciate that. In terms of, what's been going on, you should also recall that the Orasanye report was in a time when the subsidy was in full throttle. Yeah. And if we are going to be honest with each other, even at that time, there was also, hardship. Even though this is not to belittle what we have been faced with, today. But for every administration, there is always some levels of hardship. I mean, we go through one thing or the other. And to look at the fact that the Orasanye report, if fully implemented, should be able to save Nigeria quite a huge sum in billions, in millions, that could be dispersed, or it could be scattered among, the other agencies, just to ensure that there is some levels of scrutiny, there is some monies in the coffers to also ensure that capital projects and all of that infrastructure and all of that can be looked into. Probably might just be a step in the right direction towards, giving some or ameliorating or bringing down, the current challenges that we face in Nigeria today. But then it's all about you. Let's know what you think. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
Dr. Daniel.
Yes, please. Good morning.
I speak you this morning. My name is Omotayo, reaching you from Galadimawa.
All right, Omotayo, welcome aboard. Let's have your thoughts.
Yes, doctor. It won't took the government this long to implement the Orasanye report. Is to tell you, it's enough easy to tell you that the government has not been serious with the plight of the masses. Their concerns are not exactly the concerns of the masses. Now, let me just digress immediately and come back to this point. Mrs. Bidi was saying that the president almost doesn't listen. Well, what she was trying to say, in other words, if I understand her very well, is that it's not like the president himself don't wish to listen to the people.
Right.
But the cabals he has surrounded himself with are cabals who aim from the suffering of Nigerians and therefore will not let the president know that his peoples are suffering. So therefore the president almost doesn't know. To Mr. President, all is well. Every time he asks, what is the situation of my people? All he hears is all is well with them. And how will he know then? How will he listen? Do you know that we profile a lot of, if I'm not even this Orasanye Report, we have profiled this solution on the air several times here on the radio. But why have they not implemented it all this while? That is to tell you that even if the thing should have gotten to the president, somehow have not gotten, or you see that maybe the president himself is just not ready to implement it until they go to this crossroads where they have no option.
But Omatayo, the good luck Abele Jonathan was the administration that had this Orasanye report, and there was also an injunction to implement it, which fell on deaf ears. The Buhari administration came in to also implement, but then it still fell on deaf ears. And Bola Tinubu is saying that, okay, I have the will to implement this. So, yes, don't you think?
Okay, so,
go on.
Okay, so yes, we all knew that during the Goodluck Jonathan's regime, there were a lot of challenges with the cabal and all of that. Which look, a lot of things went down under the most of the government that they could not let out. They held it within themselves as classified information. Now, when Buhari tenure came in, because of those reasons, when Buhari tenure came in, we heard his wife. That was how bad it was. His wife came out to protest that her husband's government has been taken over by cabal. But
right.
we didn't do anything towards it. So just see, look, these cabals are the reasons why some of these things are unimplementable.
Okay, so Omatayo, you're saying that. You're saying that, you're saying that the president may have the will, but it might just be the cabal, the people that are surrounded himself with, that may, be the bottlenecks, to the process.
Exactly.
All right. Well,
and you see, more of these people are within the party.
Okay.
That is in power currently.
Okay.
Because yes, if they don't have influence on him as a party influence, like as a party family influence under the party structure.
Yes.
He shouldn't have. There's a way he can expose these people. They are not God. They are not unreachable. Expose them. If they are a problem to your government, look, it's because they are telling him to his face that, we are the one that put you there. We are the one that gave you this ticket. If not for us, you can't get there. So that is why the government, the president is almost powerless at this point.
Okay.
The threats he received, you may not know.
All right. That's the let's call it a wrap there. Sorry. Thank you so much, Omatayo, for your take on this one. Well, there are, I'll just quickly take your messages before we call it a wrap very quickly. This one right here is coming from James, all the way from Suleja. Says, good morning. Says, God bless, good luck, Abele Jonathan, for his genuine plans for Nigeria. He set up the Orasanye panel to sanitize ministries, agencies, and departments in 2011, and the report submitted in 2012. The same year, he removed subsidy. Those who kicked against these moves are those who are currently in government and re-implementing those same policies. The implementation is long overdue because some of these agencies and departments have duplicated functions. Some of them existing on their own have made for unregulated excesses, as some are unsupervised. But in the truth is, any cuts in departments and agencies should also be followed with corresponding cuts in the cost of governance from the presidency down to legislature, as it would be counterproductive to save costs that will end up in the running cost of governance. Nigerians will still see it as hypocritical that a government that budgeted billions for SUV for an office of the First Lady isn't constitutional is cutting costs by asking them to endure. Okay, so I see this one. Good morning, sir. I do hope this implementation will also cut across so many government agencies performing similar functions. Example, road safety and a VIO performing the same function as the traffic divisions of the police. So what's the essence of the duplication of functions? All right, Abbas from Duce right there. Thank you for that one. And I'm seeing this one. It says, Okay. All right, Akamata, thank you so much for that one. I appreciate that. Well, this is the bit that we could take. It is expected that in the coming days we should see some implementation, and when these implementations come aboard, we should be able to see it, premised in our lives, because if what is the essence of a policy if the policy does not have you and I in mind? This is where we call it a close on Eagles Outlook. Until tomorrow, when we'll come back and talk about topical issues, I want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you that have added your voice, and to say the least is to say that the presidency, or those in power, are not listening. They would listen. We have a mandate to make them listen, and that's what this platform is all about, because we give you an experience that you can count on anytime, any day. My name is Udwak Daniel.